The haunted employee. Once upon a time, in a land not so far away, in Los Angeles, California, there was a haunted employee. No, that's too. That's too.
Bungie's at Seattle.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Thought
And
so.
it doesn't usually start off with like that. It's usually like first person.
Well, it's usually a well, whatever.
I was working at Bungie one day. I was working at Bungie one day. That's what I'm putting. I was working at Bungie one day, and this is all confidential. I shouldn't even be speaking about this right now. If my boss ever found out that I released this, I'd be dead.
Yep.
It was June 22nd, 1943. The war against Germany has just ended. Let's flash forward to 2010. Microsoft was just about to release the new Halo 5, but something halted the
Wait,
release.
2010?
I don't care. I honestly don't
You went
care.
historically accurate for a brief moment.
1943, yeah.
I
The
see you, dude.
police were in the building. I looked at the window and said to myself, why is there police here at Microsoft Studios in Bungie, Seattle? I went to my boss as he pulled down his pants, relieving himself in his toilet, and he said,
In his
"Doesn't anyone knock anymore?" The laugh track played as we have installed it multiple times. I said, "Mr. Boss, my paycheck has come in and I am extremely satisfied." He said, "Oh yes?" I then asked, "Why are the police here?" He looked at me with dread in his many eyes. I'm knocked down. I'm knocked down. Why are the police here? He looked at me with his big brown breast-filled eyes and screamed.
As he's screaming.
The blood-curdling scream made me sad and scared, and I felt so many emotions at once. I think I could describe it as terrified.
True.
The police came in and shot him 13 times in the head.
What? What?
I never got a paycheck again.
Damn, that's true.
The next day, I looked at the corridor, and my friend Robert Steen was in the hallway T-positioning. His eyes were pitch white, and he smelt of rotten fish. I was eating a raw egg, and I dropped it to the floor. It split into 1,000 pieces. I looked at his forehead and said, "Why are you like this?" He disappeared. In my mind, I thought, classic Robert. He's always doing things like this. Until I noticed he was rubbing my knee. Never in my days would I imagine Robert to rub my first knee. I knew that there was something wrong with him, as if he were a haunted employee of some sort. I could not pinpoint this, for my head hurt for the brain slushy rush I had from drinking a slushy.
Are you serious?
Dude, easy?
I threw the nade at him and it went.
I know, it went through the window. I ran from Robert, and I tripped on the carpet, and I blacked out at work. I woke up 3 days later in the exact same spot. There was a stain from my brown slobber.
Your brown slobber?
Yeah. I stood up and said, "It is Sunday. There is no work." I looked around to see if there were any workers, but to my surprise, no one was working today. I stepped into the dark office room and saw a giant flaccid penis hanging from the wall. I realized that my wife had hung herself. I called my firstborn child. Stumpindat. Stumpindat.
Incredible news.
Yeah. Stumpindat. Are you still alive? Why is this dude laughing?
That was awesome, man.
I have no idea.
Who is that?
I'm dying over here.
My son was... Oh. I looked into the restroom, and I saw my son had been gutted with a CSGO knife. I
Oh, yeah,
was
that's classic.
shaking. I saw Jeff the Killer in the hallway and waved. Creepypasta reference. You know, it's like how writers do
serious?
that. They insert like quirky little like references like that. Joe Stanton was right in front of me. He said, "You have to come with me if you want to live." I looked around and shaved, and then I said, "Fine, I'll go." I grabbed my firstborn son's guts, and I stuck them in my pocket for nutrition later on, as you do. We went into the sewer system, and John, what's his name? Joe Stanton said to me, "We have to take our clothes off because the sewer is stinky, and you don't want your work clothes stinking, do you?"
He's right, dude.
I complied, and I took off every single piece of my 60-piece suit, and then I realized something. I was being raped. I took it with passion. It was almost consensual.
Oh my.
I threw up 15 times, and he told me to do it more. I stuck my finger down my throat and coughed up blood, for I suppose I had lung cancer. He said, "Ew," and he stopped fucking me. I didn't even get to come. The haunted employee then showed up. He no-clipped through the ground and snapped his neck, and he said in an echoing, devilish voice, "Now you see. Work at Bungie for me."
I thought you already worked at Bungie.
I know, yeah. Shut up. Ah!
Boo!
No, shut up.
Boo!
I screamed aloud. Okay, fine. Work for free. No paycheck for me.
Ah!
Yeah. I screamed and I ran down the sewer system. The It monster was in a fan fiction, and then I said in a corner, he cornered me. Now I'm cornered. I'm cornered now, like an opossum. An opossum between two cars. I said, "Please don't do anything we'll regret today." He looked at me with his bright white eyes and his T-posed hands and his big brown stain and said, "You worked at Bungie for too long." He echoed, "7 years of slave." He yelled it, and I was crying now because I'm a grown man and we cry sometimes. I ejaculated into my pants and made a poo. He went 3 feet away from my face. I could smell the green in his teeth and the orange in his fingernails. He licked me on the neck and gave me Clorox wipes. I looked at him with such disgust and said, "Why are you being so kind?" He stared at my chest for 3 seconds and said, "I wouldn't want my boy to be dirty."
Oh my. This is making me more and more disturbed.
We got Subway later that day. Turns out, the haunted employee works a second job as a masseuse. Microsoft hasn't been paying that well. The haunted employee and me decided Microsoft and programming, it just wasn't our thing. We ended up quitting our jobs, leaving, and without the 2 lead programmers, Bungie was split into 343 and Destiny. Said the haunted employee. "I guess good things do come in small doses. We drank beers until we filled our livers and died. The end.
Hooray! What?
See, it ended happily.
That was terrifying. It's supposed to be a creepy pasta.
Wasn't it? It was kind of. It was creepy when he got raped. I remember Jeff the Killer was there.
This is terrifying. Wow.
You can have a creepy pasta without Jeff the Killer. Screaming is on point. That dumbass possum could have just went between the cars.